The final European race of the OC season takes place here at Monza, also known as the Temple of Speed, the 13th time we're being here for the Italian Grand Prix, the 8th of 9 circuits which feature on the OC calendar every season. The circuit built back in 1922, 8 teams having won here over the past 12 seasons, including McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, Toro Rosso, Braun, Red Bull, Lotus, and Williams. We've had a number of teams winning here at Italy. Previous 3 winners have included Joseph Willis in 2015, Wilniller 2016, and Wilniller 2017. Of course, this year it will be a different winner. Wilniller won't be winning 3 in a row, of course, this year, as he is retired from the top tiers in DTM. So, the question is, who is going to get the win at Italy this year? The lap record, one of the few still remaining, actually set in 2009 by Florian Volker, 120.096, which I imagine is going to be decimated today. 53 laps, circuit length of 5.793 kilometers, only 11 corners, a relatively short circuit, but I mean, just imagine if they skip that first chicane, the circuit would be a hell of a lot shorter than it is now. The tyres we're using for this race will be the ultra soft tyres, and the driver of the day from last time out in Belgium was Laura Chung for a pretty amazing 5th place out of nowhere, but it was a great race by her, taking the top 5. But anyway, we are now going to take a look at the starting grid for the Italian Grand Prix. And on the front row, it is Florian Volker for the Mercedes ahead of Amar Khan and the Ferrari. Florian Volker, who will not be liked by the Tifosi for taking pole away from the Ferrari. On row 2, we have Joel Hutter for Red Bull and Joseph Withers for Ferrari. So Ferrari 2 and 4, when ideally it should have been 1 or 3, or 1-2. That would have been even better, the best possible result. Anyway, row 3 is Franco Lopez and Miguel Escal for Mercedes and Red Bull. Row 4 is Evan Byrne for Renault and Franco Gamba for Haas. On row 5 of the grid, 9th and 10th, we have Rolo Moita for Force India and Paolino Tomaselli, the top Italian on the grid, in 10th, so good qualifying by him. On row 6 of the grid, we have Lean Capana for Williams and Gabriel Gomez 12th for Sauber. And on the row 7, we have Felix Sontag for Williams, who had a good race last time out at Spa, with Laura Chung just alongside him in 14th position. And she had an even better race, really, finishing in the top 5. Row 8 is George Roque for Haas and Christopher De Rosa for McLaren. Row 9 is Roberto Gamba for McLaren and Maxime Titkov for Manor. Will this be the chance for Roberto Gamba to redeem himself and get a good finish in front of his home crowd? Thierry now turning 19th at Force India, not a good qualifying from him yet again. Etienne Jones in 20th position. And on the final row of the grid, we have a surprising back row of Jay McKenzie for Renault and Enis Barachki for Toro Rosso. And before we go onto the race, we're going to see some team news, and the team news is that Evan Byrne will remain at Renault for next season. Not really too much of a surprise there. And yeah, I mean, that's it really. So short, sweet, and to the point. The race, however, will be a dry race, sunny, no chance of rain. It's going to be a good race here at Monza. It generally always is. Plenty of overtaking, one of the old school circuits. So we're now going to head onto the grid, and it's a long run, of course, down to the first chicane where anything can happen. So the big question is, will it be a Mercedes or Ferrari win, or even possibly a Red Bull win, as the 5 lights are now coming on here at Monza. And it's a very, very long hold, and finally we're underway, and looks like Volker's made himself a pretty decent start. Carr hasn't quite got the jump, although Willows might be getting past, actually, Hutter, as he's trying to move in through the middle, but Volker is moving to the middle, showing that he is the leader. And is Hutter going to take second place from Carr in the first chicane? The answer is no. Hutter gets to third, Willows in fourth. And look at the start behind by the Renault of Evan Byrne. He's moved up into the top 5. And we do have damage. There's a couple of guys damage. And oh, Roberto Gamba. I was just saying about how this could be the race to change his luck. And unfortunately, it's all gone to dust just like that. So what happened here? We're on board with Jay McKenzie. And he actually goes into the back of Roberto Gamba. Then, oh dear. So he goes into the back of Roberto Gamba. He actually also goes to the Haas there of George Roque. He's lucky he didn't cause any damage to him. But unfortunately for De Rosa, was just, it always gets tight at that first chicane. And you never know what's going to happen. And unfortunately for Roberto Gamba, he got hit and he has been taken out. There's a couple of other cars with damage. Titkov has got damage. The other McLaren as well. The other McLaren has unfortunately got damage as well. Of De Rosa, and now here's Hutter just about trying to keep second from Carr into the chicane, and he does get second position, so Hutter got a good run, took second away, and now is Willis going to try and get past Carr, coming through the 2 Lesmos, as he's right next door to them, and not quite, but Byrne himself has made a good start, but Franco Lopez has been wanting to get past Evan Byrne very quickly indeed. So as we're looking through at the 2 Ferraris battling, Willis right behind Carr as they come in towards the Ascari chicane, under the UBS sign, and here we are. Is he going to make the move? Willows on the inside, and the answer is yes. He's up into third position. Carr down to fourth. Lopez does get past Byrne as well behind, so Lopez will be going after the 2 Ferraris too. And behind is the battle between, I think that is Roland Moitian and Miklos Gal. Now Byrne trying once again to get through, or trying to get back at Lopez, but that's not going to be good news because that's going to allow Moitian to get through as well. If he's not careful, Moitian's on the inside. Is he going to make a move? And it's just about side by side, but no, Byrne just about keeps the run through the corner. But of course, coming up towards the first chicane, where slipstream is a big factor here, and now Gal is trying to make a move on the inside of Moitian behind, but Moitian himself trying to make a move on Byrne in front of him. But is he going to be able to make it? He's just about alongside him. It's side by side between the two, coming in towards the first chicane, and I think Moitian should be through, is he? And yes, he is. Now Gal trying to make his way past Byrne as well. There's Gomez, and that was Tomaselli making a move on, I believe that was Franco Gamba for 11th position there. Here we see all the cars coming to the pits now. Turner's in the pits, Mackenzie was in the pits, and De Rossa was in the pits as well. So terrible start to this race for McLaren yet again. Now here's Byrne trying to get past, well, I should say Byrne attempting to be passed by Miklos Gal, and he fails. That will allow Gomez and Tomaselli to catch up behind. So from obviously Chong in 15th, there's a long gap behind to all the damaged cars. So at the moment, actually, Willer's getting away. But speaking of getting away, at the moment Volker's got a big lead already. He's already 3 seconds ahead of Hutter as he comes towards the end of the second sector. Now here's Byrne once again under pressure from Gal, who's right behind him as they head towards the Ascari chicane. Gal tried to go to the right, now swap to the left. He'll have the run on the inside. Can he make it into the Ascari chicane? It's side by side between the two. He's on the inside, and the answer is no, he can't make a stick, so still unable to make it through. And Gal will need to get himself together, because at the moment he's been, well, throughout the season he's been outperformed by Hutter. And of course there are doubts as to whether he'll keep his seat next season, because I mean the Red Bull seat's certainly up for grabs, for sure. Well, I say up for grabs because obviously Hutter won't be racing, so there is still a chance, of course, he will be. But of course, with Franco Gamba taking the other seats, there will be interesting to see what happens. Now here is Volker, who is side by side with the Ferrari, and this is not good for the Tifosi, who will not be happy at the Mercedes just absolutely steaming past the Ferrari so easy there. Lopez also setting the fastest lap on that lap as well, and actually Gomez is passing Miklos Gal coming in towards the first chicane, and actually nearly tries to have a go at Byrne in front of him. Chung now trying on the inside of Sontag in the Williams with Roque, who he's actually got past, Chung has, and so Roque was dropped a position behind, so it's almost like the battle that they're trying to do from Spa, which Roque tried to catch up towards the end to get Chung for 5th, but just not long enough. Now here is Chung on the inside of Sontag coming in towards the second chicane. He's on the inside, and she's going to make it stick. Very easily done. She gets through now. Roque will want to get past this slow Williams as well, of course, but let's not forget the Williams has the Mercedes engine, so it'll be interesting to see if that's going to be able to be done. At the moment, you can see the Ferrari actually closing to the back of Hutter. Willows trying to get close to the back of him. Now here is Gal once again trying to get past Byrne. He's still unable to get past the pesky Renault, and Gal just not quite enough, and just not quite got the power, and now he loses momentum coming through the corner as Tomaselli, I think it's just been passed by Franco Gamba there. He's down to 11th, getting a little bit twitchy coming through the Ascari chicane there, and yes, Franco Gamba did actually make the move for 10th position, for the last points position on the board, so it was on the inside, actually following in the slipstream of Gal, and managed to sneak through there. It's a good move actually. Now here is the battle of a second. This is between Joseph Willows and Joel Hudson. Now I wonder if Willows is going to have the slipstream as they head towards the second chicane, and he's right behind him, so I think Willows is surely going to have a go, and yes he is. Will Hudson defend? And the answer is no, he doesn't actually, just lets him through pretty easy there, so Willows makes a very easy move, and is up to second, but Hudson got a terrible run out the exit there, went way too wide. That's going to allow Lopez, he's going to have a go coming into the first Lesmo, and he's unable to make it stick there, but it was a very unusual line that he took there. Gal, of course, is still unable to get past Byrne. Now we can have Franco Gamba behind for company as well. And looking at Gomez coming through the second Lesmo, seemingly going a little bit wide there, I think. But now here is Gal once again, going to try it on Byrne, and let's see this time, will this be the one for him to make it through on the inside? I think he's, no, actually he's not even alongside this time. And he tried a late move there, but he was to it there, Byrne coming through the Ascari chicane, and so he was unable to make the move stick. So he's once again in the situation, just not quite got enough power. That is the problem. And he's now alongside. Is he going to have enough coming through into the Parabolica? And the answer is no, not quite. They nearly make contact, but Gal will still be in the slipstream. But of course, Franco Gamba is closing behind these two, so he's got to be careful. Really, he needs to get this done. But he's being held up obviously a lot, so he's not really going to have a chance of getting a podium at this point in time. Now here I look at the Gal, still just not got the speed. He actually has to go back into the slipstream of Byrne to then get a bit more speed, and now try and have a go the inside. Surely he'll dive down the inside. No, he doesn't. I mean, what a surprise. So, can't believe this is happening, really. You've got to feel for Gal, but, well, unfortunately, Gal is under a lot of pressure here, so this is really not what he needs at all. Now, here you are looking at Volker, who's got a comfortable gap ahead of Willows in front, and this was Lopez, who went past Hutter, coming through, looks like, into the Parabolica. And side by side, you can see between the two, Lopez just having the speed in that Mercedes, and just gets through very easily on the inside. Hutter not really putting up any defence, so he clearly knows when to just give in, I guess, to the faster cars, but just concentrating on his own race. Obviously, Gall's actually now dropped a little bit off the back of Byrne, actually. Maybe just weighing himself up for another go. But now here's Tomaselli trying to get back past Franco Gamba, and he does make a sticker. The Williams is going to sneak past Campana, is he? No, Gamba just about keeps it. And but that's going to allow Chung to try and make a move through on the inside. But here comes Roke, who's going to get past Chung, and he might even go past Campana as well. And Roke's going to get 2 with the price of 1. And he's on the inside. He's got past Chung. Is he going to get past Campana? And the answer is yes. A great move there by Roke, and he moves up 2 positions up into 12th place. Great move there, but now Campana might get a run back, because of course he's got the slipstream, but of course Chung's still there as well, so Roke might have done the move, but he might get done as well. And I don't think Campana has got quite enough. No, I think Roke's just about got the speed on him, coming towards the first chicane, and although Campana's going to try and keep it on the inside, and he is unable to get the position back. So this was the board from Roke, obviously, seeing what happened before. And he was coming through, he was behind Chung, just following the situation. You could see the battle going on just ahead of him there, coming out of the exit of the Ascari chicane. So Chung went to the left. That was a big mistake, really, from her, because Roke went through the inside, had the speed off the slipstream with Campana as well, and just said, thank you very much, and took the position like that. So it was very easily done. And I think a move that Chung probably won't want to see again. She got mugs, really, and well, so did Campana. But for Roke, who's had a very good season, of course, confirmed to be racing at Force India, to be known as Racing Point, for next season. You can see Campana was trying to make the move back up to 314 kilometers an hour, just about 200, but Campana doesn't have the speed to get back. I mean, he did try and have a go at Roke, but it was just too late. It was never really going to work, so he had to give up the position there. Now here we are for attempt number 7,000 for Gal, now trying to get past Byrne, coming towards the first chicane, and he's just not got the speed. He's on the inside, but just look at the Renault. You can see it's clearly ahead, so it just ain't going to work for him. So unless he tries to dive bomb into the chicane, which is possible, you can do it. Is he going to? And the answer is no. No, he doesn't. So unable to do it there. As we look at the two Toro Rossos now battling each other, this is Chung battling to get past Parachki, and so Chung is in 14th position. But now here we are, Gal once again trying on the inside. Is he going to make a stick this time? Nope, Byrne really defends, so that is going to leave Gal a bit compromised from behind if he's not careful. But it's just not going well for him. You really got a feel for him. You really do. And here we are looking, of course, at Florian Volker, who's got a comfortable lead ahead of Willows in second at this moment in time. The gap about 4 seconds. Here we are looking at Tomaselli in 10th, who goes a little bit wide, coming off the second Lesbo there. That will allow Frank Gabba to catch up. And here we go. Here's Gal once again trying it on Byrne, coming towards the Ascari chicane. Is he going to make the move stick? The answer is no. No, he doesn't. So it's just, he's going to have to hope to pit, because it just looks like he can't get past him, really. So there's Chung and Parachki that were having their battle. That's continuing on. So we're looking at Gal, who is, I don't know if he's quite close enough to get Byrne coming into the first chicane. He'll get the slipstream in time, but he just hasn't got the speed to get past him. The gap going up again at the front as well, although it will at this moment in time go up even more if Lopez is able to pass Willows. You can see him closing up, coming through the first chicane there. He's on fairly light fuel. I haven't actually been checking the fuel, so we'll need to see when the drivers are going to start coming in. But here we are looking at Enis Parachki, who's once again battling with his teammate Laura Chung, and Parachki's on the inside. This is going to be, I think, a pretty easy move, and Parachki is through up into 40th position. Unfortunately for them, this is not a battle for the points. This is a battle for 14th. So look, there's Kirosa de Rosa in 19th. There's Jamie McKenzie currently in 21st and last. Byrne going a little bit wide, coming through the chicane, but of course he's still defending very well from Gal, who still can't make the move. And now actually into the pits comes Volker, so this is an early stop. So there's a few cars coming in. Moitin's coming in. Who else is coming in? Tomaselli and Gamba are both coming in too. So surely this can't be the 3-stop, can it? Because I mean the 3-stop around Italy, I'm not sure if that's entirely going to work, but we'll see. So Volker comes in, and no, that's surely going to be two. That's surely got to be 2 stops, I would think, with that amount of fuel they put in. And we'll see. As Volker comes out of the pits, and it was a 7.1 second stop. So here we are now. Here is Gal once again trying on the inside of Byrne. He can just about get alongside the Renault, but he's just not quite got enough power. You can see, and actually he's pitting this lap, as a matter of fact, so this will be the chance for him to finally jump Byrne in the stops, and finally get ahead of him. But here comes actually Volker, who comes up behind Campana, who's come out in a fair bit of traffic, although there's a few cars, of course, around him that are going to be pitting. So Tomaselli's in. There's about, I think, 2 or 3 cars pitting on this, well, who are pitting what will be next lap, although it's technically still this lap, but yeah, you know what I mean. But Tomaselli is coming out of the pits, 6.4 second stop. Gamma comes out as well, I think that was a decent stop around 6 seconds. So here's Willows at the moment, who temporarily takes the lead, and the crowd cheers and boos and throws probably whatever objects they can at Franco Lopez to get him off the circuit, to get him away. So in time they would want, of course, they would want Willows to win this race. So here we are looking at Volker, who is now already caught up to the back of Campana. He needs to get through this traffic ASAP. Probably would have hoped he wouldn't have to deal with this traffic as much, but at the moment he is the class of the field, so he's about to go through past the Williams. He's alongside Campana, the American, and surely this is going to be the move done for Volker. He's on the inside, and yep, he's through. Moves back up into 9th position. That was fairly easily done. Gets a bad run through the corner though, so Campana will try and make a move back, but of course it's not going to work because Volker is going to get well clear, although Campana's still going to try to squeeze up the inside there, but backs off, and Volker will definitely be glad that he did that. So now we see Mick Lascaux, who actually finally did actually pass Evan Byrne, and of course he would pass Evan Byrne just before he pits. Yeah, so not really sure it was the greatest idea. Really could have done that. Well, maybe 5 or 6 laps ago would have been better, but he did it anyway. So at least that's something. Now here's Campana, who is back behind Volker, who's actually going to have the slipstream off the Mercedes in front of him. Going to go over well over 200 miles an hour, and surely he's not going to make a move on Volker. Look at that, over 300 k's. And he is going to try and make a move on him, and Campana, oh, he tries to squeeze up the inside there, and there's, oh, that's so close, that was nearly contact. Just imagine if contact happened there, of course the Ferrari fans would be cheering, of course, because that would give the advantage to Willows. So Gal comes out of the pits, and he'll be outside of the top 10, of course. And this was Campana, of course, once again trying to move on Volker. Just imagine if the two collided right here, and they nearly did. It was so close, because Campana took a lot of the curb, and fortunately just avoided contact. So yeah, that could have really spiced it up. So now Gal comes out behind the Haas of Franco Gamba, who's in 15th position. Gal is, and of course Franco Gamba in 14th. So now I'll have to deal with even more traffic. So as we look at Jones and Titkoff, as Titkoff's going to be pitting this lap, and oh, the matters of big contact, and the rule, you know the rule. And so Titkoff has got damage. Sorry, he's pitting this lap. He doesn't have damage. So oh, and Mackenzie's hit Jones. Oh dear me. Oh, and now Jones has been hit again by his teammate Titkoff. So now Titkoff is going to pit for damage. He was pitting this lap anyway. But oh dear me, and Etienne Jones is out of this race. The two manners colliding with each other. That kind of just sums up their season, really. As the marshal is now going to clear his in. Oh, incredible! Wait, is that Joseph Willows? I think that's Joseph Willows. Oh, and Lopez has hit Jones's car, and that's Joseph Willows, and the Ferrari fans are going to be furious. They are going to want blood, and incredibly Joseph Willows has been taken out of the Italian Grand Prix for something that was completely innocuous, and so Joel Hutton now temporarily takes the lead of this race. Car is in 2nd place, and I can't honestly believe what has just happened, but wow, all came from the Manners, who collided with each other. Then Mackenzie went into Jones, and Titkoff went into him, and then just as the car was being taken off, Willows hit debris from Jones's car, and that's eliminated him from the race. I said after the last round in Spa, has he thrown away any chance of a possible title by going off on his own? And unfortunately it looks like this week, well, he's thrown it away, but it's not of his own making, it's not his own fault. But I think that might have just eliminated Willows from the chance of getting the title, really. He needs a massive recovery. So this is what happened. So Titkoff was trying to get past Jones, who had just come out of the pits. I don't know why Titkoff made the move, because he was pitting anyway, so it was an unnecessary thing to do. So they spun around, and of course Jones had damage, and Mackenzie unfortunately caught the back of Jones at the wrong possible time. So this was the onboard from Jones, and there goes his wing. And so here was Mackenzie coming around, I don't think realising maybe that Jones was going that slow. He probably didn't know what was going on, and then goes into the back of the Englishman, and then he spins around. Mackenzie, of course, has damage. So this was the onboard from Willows, who was coming around, just seeing the yellow flags, thinking, oh, what's happened here? And seeing the marshal waving it right there, and coming through the corner, and then just seeing the wheel there, and hits it, and unfortunately that's just enough to take him out of this race. And you really got a feel for him. So at the moment it doesn't look like Carr is able to do anything, really, but this is what happened, obviously, from Franco Lopez's point of view. So he actually, Jones as well, I don't know if he got any damage or not. So we'll have a look and see if he did. So Lopez was coming up to you. You can see the wheel, and he does hit the wheel, and amazingly doesn't get damage. And he even hits Jones's car, and yet I don't think he's still got any damage. So somehow Lopez got away absolutely scot-free. And wow, if the Ferrari fans weren't baying for blood, they will be now. The Mercedes is made of titanium. So into the pits, of course, that is Lopez who's just come into the pits. Gomez has come in just behind. Well, actually, Gomez has just caught up. I think Lopez did get damage then. It didn't look like he had, but I don't know. Anyway, so Gomez pits, and of course Lopez does as well. But I mean, the amazing thing for Lopez is he's still in this race. He hit the wheel, and he hit Jones's car. So if he did get there, which I have a feeling he actually may have done, then somehow he still stayed in this race. But so he's still going, Lopez, and he's going to drop down into 9th, or just outside of the points if Moitin gets through. And it looks like he'll be behind Moitin, so it'll be 10th. So quite a dramatic twist we've had here at the Italian Grand Prix, and unfortunately not the twist that the Ferrari fans would have wanted either. So, and now Miguel Scal, of course, who still actually hasn't got past Franco Gamba. So at the moment, Hutter leads. Of course, Berner's in 3rd, Carr is 2nd, but of course that will all change. So I mean, that's given a pretty welcome break actually when you think of it to Volker, who of course has come out in a lot of traffic, and that crash there has held up. Has held up, of course. Lopez had to pit, I think, for damage, and also held up the pack behind him. So for him, that actually has worked out pretty well for Volker. So he might think that as a lucky break, really. He's up to 5th, and he's probably a lot closer to the guys than he maybe would have been thinking. So here's Joel Hutter, who's coming into the pits for his first stop of the race. So of course Hutter will not be racing next season, to the bemusement of everyone. But still, he had a pretty good. He had a pretty good OC season. I mean, it's the way to go about it. Get a seat which no one was expecting, and then bow out after the season. It's almost like the kind of Nico Rosberg, except without the title, really, ish. Whatever you think about it. Anyway, so Hutter comes out. It was a 5.3 second stop. That's pretty good, actually. And he's going to come, looks like, ahead of the sister team, Toro Rosso ahead of Laura Chung. And the answer is actually no. He comes out, I think, behind Laura Chung. Comes out ahead of the German Felix Sonntag, who's pitting this lap as well. Campana comes in for his first stop of the race. And his stop was quick. 5.2 as well, actually. A few quick stops here in Italy. Or just in overall. But in Italy, it definitely seemed to be quicker than normal. But Carr at the moment leads, to the delight, of course, of the home fans. But of course, he is not pitted. Byrne at the moment in 2nd position. Hasn't pitted either. Sontag's going to be pitting this lap. Lopez is far down the order, probably further than he would have wanted to be. Now here's Gal, who still hasn't got past Franco Gamba ever since his stop. So unfortunately for Gal, he's really struggling at this moment in time. Now trying to make a move on the inside of Gamba, who's blocking him, not letting him through, particularly of course in front of his home fans. Gamba will be wanting to get as many points as possible, and of course this will be doing him a lot of favours. So here's Lopez just catching up to the back of Renault coming down out of the Lesmo, down the back straight towards the Ascari chicane. And now he's on the inside, and he's surely going to make a move. This is for P8. Lopez, this should be pretty easy. And the answer is yes, very easily done. He's up to 8th, and now he'll go after Felix Sonntag, the German in front of him, who's just there. He'll catch him in probably about 2-3 corners, and then overtake him, I would imagine. So, as we look at the field also coming through the Ascari, you can see all the cars in the background. Lopez, of course, moving ahead of Moitin. Gomez in 10th at this moment in time. So, and there's Sonntag, of course, going to the pits, of course. So this will be P7 for Franco Lopez. And here's Hutter now battling with Chung on the inside, coming into the first chicane. Need to make it stick. Chung goes a bit wide, and Hutter finally does take the position there. It's a good move there on the sister team of Toro Rosso there, of Laura Chung. So Lopez will now be catching up to Chung pretty quickly now that he made a mistake there. Now here's Gal trying to get past Franco Gamba. Still unable to do it. So now he can't get past the Renault. He now seemingly can't get past the Haas. He's making a Haas of himself at this moment in time. So here we are. He's in the slipstream coming through the fast right-hander. Going to be in the slipstream. So he's now surely going to have the momentum to make the move. But is Gamba going to defend? The answer is yes, he does. So Gal unable to get through here. And with the possibility of the other seat in doubt at Red Bull, he really needs to be performing at this moment in time. He isn't. So here is Volker, who's caught up to the back of Evan Byrne, the Irishman, and has overtaken him for 2nd position. This was a pretty standard move. And yep, there we go, through on the inside. Easy as that. So here we are looking at Miguel Scal, who is coming through, trying to pass Franco Gamba once again, but failing to do so. And now Laura Chong is in the pits actually as well for Toro Rosso. So now Gal is up into 11th position. Now he's trying to battle just to get a single point out of this race. Trying to get past Franco Gamba. And Gamba makes a little mistake there, but still unable to do it. Gal, he's really struggling. He just can't do it. Really can't make it stick. It's just not going well for him at this moment in time. So here we are looking through the rest of the order. The Volk at the moment in second position, of course. Carlini Roke is actually going to be coming into the pits this lap. He was running in P4. Hudson won't have to worry about overtaking him. Lopez way behind in P6, which will be P5. But Roku himself, of course, will be getting a seat at Racing Point next season. Had a pretty great, good season, to be honest. Probably one of the best he's had. Really, he's scored constant points. I mean, his teammate Frank Gamba, you could say, has been outperforming him, but I don't know. It's been pretty close actually throughout the season, if you really think about it. So here we are looking at Gal, then trying to make a move, and here is Gabriel Gomez, the Brazilian, trying to make a move past the Hungarian Moitian. And so into the pits now comes Roke for his first stop of the race, and this will obviously be a two-stopper, of course. So now we look at Gabriel Gomez, who is trying to get through. And now, actually, speaking of trying to pass, Campana might be trying to pass Miguel Gal. This would be a pretty embarrassing move for Gal if he does make the stick. And Campana's through. Look at that. Lean Campana has passed a Red Bull here at Italy, and Miguel Gal is being humiliated here. Not the race he would have wanted at all. Now, here is Gomez trying to get past Moitian. He's on the inside. This should be a pretty easy move. And yep, he's up into P6, so he's now behind the Mercedes of Franco Lopez. So quite incredibly, as I said, Gal has been passed by a Williams, and it was just a very easy move that he made, really, as well. And yeah, so Gal, he's actually dropping him off as well. It's actually quite astonishing. It's just how badly this is going for him. So Roke comes out in 13th position, a unlucky number for most people. Would it be lucky for him? Who knows? But Carr's coming through the Parabolica, and he's set to come into the pits as well. He's 15 seconds ahead of Volker, but of course he will come up behind it. Oh, Enis Parachki has got a problem, and yet his engine has gone. So Enis Parachki is out of this race, and unfortunately it's not been a great season for him. And it's not really getting much better, so Roke is going to go past him here through the smoke, and now up into 12th position. So unfortunately for Enis Parachki, you really got a feel for the guy. He is out of this race, and actually Evan Byrne is pitted as well, so of course that will mean that Volker will of course lead this race. But you really got a feel for Enis Parachki. And oh, there's a Red Bull off. Who's that? Is that Joel Hutter? It is! Joel Hutter is out! And Joel Hutter is out of this race. And what on earth has happened to him? It looks like a mechanical failure. It's a very unusual place to crash. It's actually just before the Parabolica. And wow, what on earth has happened to the Red Bull there? You can see the Toro Rosso there of Parachki just going through. And now pulling off almost in the exact same position just behind him as well. So you really got a feel for, well, so we've had two failures on one lap, and of course they both pulled off in the exact same location there. And so what happened? So of course I don't know what happened to Hutt. I don't know what his problem was, but Enis Parachki, this was the replay of him the lap before. That was actually he was behind this battle with Gal and Campana, and his engine blew actually just before the pits. And unfortunately that was the end for him. And of course Joel Hutter out of the race as well, unbelievably, with a mechanical failure. And he was having a pretty good race as well. He was certainly on for a top 4, maybe even a podium. But of course he is going to be getting nothing from this race, whereas Gal, of course, will be pretty happy that of course he'll get something. And Jay McKenzie coming around the final corner, and he is having to pit as well. So Jay McKenzie having a problem. He's had a terrible race and has a mechanical failure as well. I suppose the crash is not his fault. And but you really got a feel for him, you really do. Now here's a big battle. This is 4P, I think this is P7. This is, and they're trying to overtake here. This is not a good idea. Under yellow flags, Campana trying to get past Franco Gamba here. Has he overtaken him under yellows? And I think he has. And I think Burns made the overtake as well past Miguel Gal. So I wonder if they'll get penalty for that. Now, quite ironically, of course, the yellow flags have literally just this second gone. So Burn, who's just about behind Franco Gamba, going to try and make a move into the chicane, is he? And he's not quite alongside the Haas, but of course he's got past Gal, so it's another humiliation for Miguel Gal. Burn on the inside, and he can't quite make the move, stick past Franco Gamba, so I wonder if they're going to get penalties for that, because I'm pretty sure they just overtook under yellows. So I await race control and their information here. So Burn once again trying to get past Franco Gamba on the inside, and is he going to make it stick? The answer is nope. Gamba has the run through there, but Gal behind. to try and look and get through. So here we are looking actually at this replay. So yes, Lean Campana does get a 5-second time penalty for overtaking Franco Gamba under yellow flags. So I'd be pretty annoyed with that. He just needed to wait one more corner because he would have had him at the end of the straight as well. So here's the onboard from Byrne. So I wonder if Byrne is going to get a penalty as well, as we see him coming through. And yep, I'm pretty sure he does. So I think Byrne is going to get a penalty, and there is the confirmation. So 2 5-second time penalties for Byrne and for Campana. But this battle is still going on. So now Gal's going to go past Byrne down the back straight, gets the run through there. So Byrne gets beaten. Oh, there's nearly contact actually between the two. So Byrne gets overtaken by Gals, who does actually make an overtake, but unfortunately, so he's actually passed Byrne on track. That's good. But now here's Amar battling with Franco Lopez. This is the battle for second position. So Carl is looking to try and get through as Lopez went a little bit wide coming through the first chicane there. But Carr trying to make the move on the Mercedes. Of course, it doesn't look like they're going to win because Volker seems to have the gap. I mean, look at the gap, 11 seconds. So I'm not sure Carr is going to be able to get the win today, but a podium, I think, for them would still be pretty nice. But Carr would at least like to split the two Mercedes. That would be something. Well, ideally, of course, they'd want to have a Ferrari 1-2 here, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. So as we look at Gal, who's once again going to try and have a go at Franco Gamba. So he's dealt with Byrne. Now he's got to deal with the Haas of Gamba, who is not letting him through, of course. So Gamba really defending from Gal, and I said he's just not got the speed. As Gal, wait, does he have it now? No. Yes. Is he going to make it stick now? And yes, finally, Gal gets past Franco Gamba. At last, it's taken him an eternity, but he's finally done it. And you can see coming through towards the second chicane there, does make the move stick. So I thought Gamba was just going to keep it ahead, just to really troll Gal and just really cheese him off. But fortunately, Gal had to run around the outside, made it stick. Now Byrne is going to try and make it through past Franco Gamba, who doesn't seemingly have any pace this race compared to his teammate Roke, who's doing a pretty good job. So as you look at Byrne now, trying to make a move on the inside of the Haas, coming into the Ascari chicane. He's going to make a stick. He goes for it late, and Byrne does make it through, so he's now up into 9th position. Now here is Carr once again battling with Lopez. This is the battle for second place. Carr going to try and make a move on the inside. Lopez really defending. He's not letting it go. He goes very wide coming into the chicane there, but keeps it. But now, of course, Carr will have another run onto the front straight, and it's side by side between the two. Campana has got past Moichin as well, it looks like, for 6th position, and so Roke's now to 10th as well. But Carr just not quite got the pace to get through on the inside there, and fails to do so. So I wonder what happened with Campana and Moichin. Hopefully you might see that. And actually Byrne now does go past Gal coming through the Parabolica there. So for Gal, unfortunately, it's turning into a real it's just not a good race for him at all, unfortunately. Just can't, he's barely passed cars, and all the cars seem to be passing him. And so I wonder actually if Roke behind will catch up. That will be interesting to see, because if he does, then I don't imagine he'll be able to hold off Roke either, who's definitely the quicker driver. But we're looking at Armor Car once again all over the back of Franco Lopez. The gap actually coming down a bit to Volker in front. It's down to 10 seconds. It was 11 last time we saw. But Carr once again trying to the inside. He's never going to make a stick unless he does the dive bomb with the Century, or at least cuts the corner like you would in F1 2020, but unable to do it there. So Carr's still right behind Lopez. Is he going to make a move coming through into the Parabolica? He's clearly the quicker car, it seems. He's now on the inside of Lopez. Is he going to make it into the Parabolica? Just about side by side between the two. And is he going to do it? No, they almost make contact, but Carr once again going to be in the slipstream. Going to try it on the front straight, and you can see just clearly better in the corners, but just on the straights. You can see him say he's just about eking ahead, so Carr will dive into the slipstream, I would imagine, and then try it into the first corner. Will he? Well, he does. Is that going to be a bit late, but he's going to go for it. Lopez really defending. He's not letting him through. Goes a bit wide once again, but Carr just not able to get through. So he's really defending for his life for second place. Of course, this is helping his teammate Volker, who's way out in front anyway. So he'll be delighted that this is happening. And so here we are looking at Evan Byrne, who's made his way past Rudder Moichin in the Force India. So that was a pretty easy move going into the Parabolica there. So now here we are for Carr versus Lopez once again on the front straight, really providing entertainment for the crowd. The crowd, of course, cheering him on loudly. And he's again just about alongside Lopez, but he's just got the speed just to eke out there. And so Carr dips in. And now we'll try and make a move on the inside. Is he going to make a late dive bomb? He's going to try. Nope, he still can't make a stick. The gap actually still, despite these two battling, actually still coming down to Volker in front. It's down to 9 seconds now. As now this battle for P7, this is Evan Byrne getting right stuck in here. This is Tomaselli involved too. He's in the slipstream side by side with the Williams there. And is he going to make it through? Tomaselli trying to. I think he's on the inside, so he's on the right line for the corner. Is he past Campana? And the answer is yes, he is. And Byrne unable to make it stick there, but of course he'll have the run off the corner, I think, and might try and get past Campana, who's all over the back of Tomaselli, but of course Campana is pitting this lap, and now Byrne is there as well. Wonder if he'll try and make a move through this. Campana pitting this lap, and Byrne's going to make his way in the slipstream, try and get past Campana, coming into the second chicane, and the answer is he can't do it there. Of course, Campana is going to be pitting this lap. He's going to still try have a go coming into the first of the two Lesmos. He's on the inside, Campana, but has to back off there. Can't make the move stick there. Now here's Byrne, of course, trying to make a move, and actually Gal is pitting this lap. So really, Gal is actually in a battle. Yes, in a battle with a Williams for the position here, and he actually got past Roland Muyten, it seems. So here we are, looking at Byrne once again, trying on the inside of Campana, coming in towards the Ascari chicane. And he's through Byrne, so he makes it through up to 6. So Byrne's actually, fair play to him, has managed to make a fair few good moves. Now he's on the back of Tomaselli, of course. Campana having Gal reading him in, but of course he's pitting this lap anyway. So here we are looking at Evan Byrne trying to make a move on the inside of Tomaselli, coming through into the Parabolica. He's still unable to make it stick, although Tomaselli goes a little bit wide there. It takes an unusual line. Of course, Campana now goes to the pits, and so does Gal. So this will be a battle between the two, but I think Campana should still come out in front. Now here you are looking at Byrne, who's right behind Tomaselli, trying to get through on the inside. Coming through into the first chicane. He's just about eking alongside, but he's just not got enough. And is he going to make it stick there? And he's still side by side between the two. Byrne, will he have the run off the corner? The answer is no, he doesn't. Tomaselli kind of holds him off there, so Byrne loses a lot of momentum. Now he's going to have to chase him back down again, although I think I just saw the pit lane sign come up for him. Now this is the battle once again for second place between Carr and Lopez. And Carr now on the inside of Lopez. Is he going to make it stick? No, he just hasn't quite got enough. It's just frustrating him. He's just clearly the quicker car, but just can't make it through. Unfortunately, of course, speed and power are actually important. I mean, certainly if you're a famous Top Gear presenter, they are the most important things to you. But of course, for Carr, he's got the power, but not the speed, and he's trying to get through. He's once again, he's tried this same move, I think, the last 5-6 laps or so, and it's just not worked. So you can see them say he has the power on the straights, has the speed, and the Ferrari once again ekes out to the right, but just not enough, because Lopez actually defends this time, and Carr probably would try and launch it down the inside. If he didn't do that, Lopez goes again extremely wide. I wonder where the gap is actually out front, because they were still closing down Volker, even though the fact they've been battling for the last few laps or so. Now here's Galus on the back of now Tiranen in the Force India. Going to try and make a move on the inside. Is he going to be able to pass a car? Galus on the inside of now Tiranen, coming in towards the Ascari chicane, and nope, he's unable to do it. So now he's got the Williams of Campana, who actually he has passed on the circuit. I'm pretty sure Campana came in ahead of him as well. So unless Campana had a bad stop, or unless Gal passed him on track, Gal has technically jumped him in the stops, which is something, I guess. But as we're looking at Campana, who's of course right behind Gal, because he's being held up badly by now Tiranen. So I wonder if he'll try and get past Gal and now Tiranen down the straight. He's now in the slipstream of now Tiranen, but Gal's is as well. But I think Campana might have actually still snuck through here, although Gal's just about still hanging on the inside, although Campana's still got the slipstream of now Tiranen. So who's going to get through? And yes! And actually he just backs off Gal and allows Campana to get through. Well, he'll wait for him to try and attack him. So, quite an incredible race this is, and unfortunately, and the same can't be said for Gal, but some great battling throughout the field. Of course, Monza. Now here is Campana, now trying to make a move on now Tiranen, coming towards the second chicane. He's on the inside, he's blocking him off there, can't make it stick, and yep, so has to wait there. So he's now going to wait until the back straight as they come through the two Lesmos, unless now Tiranen makes a mistake coming into the two Lesmos. Meanwhile, the gap out front, and Carr has finally now got past Lopez. Crucial in this race. Carr has finally passed Lopez, and you can see the gap obviously still coming down. 7 seconds it was, and this was the move, and it looks like Carr finally had enough. He launched it, I guess, down the inside. Yep, he did, coming into the Ascari, and he finally made it stick for P2. But I mean, you've got to think actually, the fact that Carr was still closing up, well, both these guys were still closing up, just if Carr had passed him much early, he probably could have been nearly up with Volker by now, you'd have to say. But now here's the battle for P10. This is Campana, now Tiranen, and Gal. This is the battle for 10th position, and once again Campana trying to get through it. Oh, they actually made contact there. Campana making contact with the Force India there of now Tiranen. Now that allows the Haas, I believe, of Franco Gamba to be right behind them as well. So this battle continues throughout this part of this race, and now Campana in the slipstream once again going to try. Now Tiranen and Gal is there as well, waiting to try and get through, but it's just unable to do so. And Franco Gamba now coming into this battle. This is for 10th position, the last point spot. And Campana is going to go around the outside and finally take now Tiranen. But now here's Franco Gamba trying to get past Gal, but Gal is not letting that happen. He's not allowing Gamba to get past him. He's spent way too long trying to get past him. But of course now Gamba's the quicker car, it seems. Now Turner is really struggling. See the way that his line going into the corner there. So Franco Lopez actually is now pitting, and so is Carr as well. So it will be a pit stop battle as well. So between the two. Now here's Gal trying to get past now Turner. He's on the inside, just not got enough grunt in that car. Not got enough horsepower to make it through. So now Franco Gamba is looking to see what he can do. Of course, you can see all the cars that are coming into the pits on the exact same lap. So here we are once again looking at Gamba, who's going to close up behind Gal. You can see, look at how much he closes through there, just by in the power of the slipstream. And so he's now going to get past Gal. Look at the speed he's got. He's going to go past Miguel's Gal, but he's not going to get past now Turner, so Gal will get him back, of course. Gal just about holding side by side with him, unless Gal will back off and let him through, but I don't imagine he would, or does he? Yes! And Gamba does make it stick, so I guess Gal's just not really feeling it today. So now Franco Gamba's going to try it on now Turner once again. Now Amar Carr is coming in the pits, and of course Lopez comes to the pits as well. So they were, as I said, they were both closing up to the back of Volker, despite the fact they were battling for all those laps. But unfortunately, I mean, you see, as I said already, if Carr had made it past Lopez laps before, he probably would have been close to Volker for the win. So could possibly that battle have kind of prevented Carr from having the win today, because Lopez clearly wasn't quicker than him. So I mean, I wonder what if they look back on this as a missed opportunity. Now Gomez comes in; he was running in P4 actually, surprisingly. So that was actually a good, been a good race by Gomez. We've not seen much of him really. I suppose we've not seen a lot of necessarily the top 6-ish cars, because there's been battles going on down towards the lower end of the points. So he's in the pits, and he's going to come out. Byrne is in the pits as well. Does he go to the end? The answer is yes, he does, and obviously so does Gomez. Making sense. So there we go. We look at them coming out. So Chung at the moment is in 6th. Moijin at the moment in P5, but he's going to be pitting soon anyway. So we look at Tomaselli, who's coming down the front straight at this moment in time. Byrne's going to come out, looks like in 9th position. Now here is Gal, who is once again battling with these two, and Franco Gamba, who's trying to get past now Turner, yes again, down the front straight, and happening so constantly throughout this race. Unfortunately for Gal, it's been terrible. I mean, I've said that so many times now, but Gamba on the inside makes a late move and finally gets past the pesky tie, and up into 11th position goes Franco Gamba. So there we go. So now Gal is going to once again try it, as actually Florian Volker is coming into the pits this lap, and speak of the devil, here he is. There's a McLaren, that is of De Rossa, who's coming in on this lap as well. And so here we go, we're looking at him coming in. So he comes in for his final stop of the race, I would think. Oh, anyway, if he doesn't, then it's going to be a big mistake, I would imagine. So, and the answer is yep, he goes to the end, as expected. So he comes out 6.2 seconds, and there's more teams coming out. Actually, unfortunately, the McLaren does come out ahead of him, which will not please him too much, but it'll get past him pretty easy. But as I said, I think it would have been a lot of it would not have been as easy race for Volker had Carr not battled so much. I mean, because look at where Carr is. He's only just coming down the straight now. It's not that far away. So just imagine, had Carr not had that battle with Lopez, I think they would have, well, Carr would have jumped him. Maybe even Lopez, because Lopez still isn't even that far behind either. So it could have been, yeah, it could have been a lot different. It's definitely, I think, at this moment in time, it could be a missed opportunity for Lopez and Carr. Both of them could have won this race. Well, I'm not saying, of course, it's over yet. There's still plenty of time left to go. Still 20 laps to happen, and in the OC, anything can happen. Anything goes. So as we look at the Toro Rosso of Chung coming in for her final stop of the race as well. So there we go. And let's see where she comes out. Is she going to come out actually behind this battle of cars here? As we look at Gal, who is still unable to get past now Turner. I mean, Gamba managed to get past him easy. Now Turner has not been very quick today at all, but Gal just can't get through. So now here's this battle once again continuing on. This is for second place. So Carr, who was quicker before the pit stops. Now it seems the tables have turned. Lopez is now quicker. Now here is Gal once again trying it on now Turner, but it's just he can't make it stick. I'm really feeling for him. He just can't make it stick. He's got just a terrible. He's just got a terrible car at this moment in time, just not suited well. I say he was not suited. I mean, Hutter was doing such a better job than him, so I don't understand why it's all going so wrong for him, really. But Gal is trying it on the inside of now Turner, who is trying his best to hold on here. Now Gal's going to dive down the inside. Is this going to be the move? And the answer is no, because he's not going to have the run through the corner. Now, of course, Roland Moichin, who is going to the end, is looking to get past both of these two, and I suppose now Tyrion is technically doing him a favour, of course. So here we are looking at Gal, who's once again trying to get through now. Tyrion coming towards the second chicane. Now here's Franco Lopez, of course, who is trying to get to Armcar, and of course, crucially for Carr, he's got Mackenzie and De Rossa traffic to get through. So Carr needs to deal with these two cars very quickly indeed. Otherwise, Lopez is going to be through. So we'll see what happens here. So Carr now taking a bit of an unusual line there, and that's allowed Lopez to catch right up. I don't think that was the best of ideas from him there, but anyway. Is Lopez going to be close enough to be in the slipstream? I think he is, actually. And yes, here we go. So Lopez now in the slipstream car. This is the battle for second place. And Lopez is just going to go absolutely steam past him. And that was actually very easy. A lot easier than I suspected it would be, as they now catch up to the traffic. So Lopez now going to go past the McLaren of De Rossa. Will Carr get through there? No. So Lopez made the move at precisely the perfect time. Now Carr finally does make it through. And gets now back, well, he's still in third, but he gets past the McLaren there. But of course, Lopez already on the back of Mackenzie, who he's going to go past round the outside there. Mackenzie lets him through, and now of course Carr will have to wait until the after the Ascari chicane, the straight before Parabolica. Now Gal yet again still unable to get past now, and that's allowing Chung to catch up behind as well. Now it's just not going well for him. And actually, no, this isn't. No, I think that was actually Moichin, sorry. This is Moichin he's battling with, because now Tyrion actually had just gone into the pits, so he's trying to get past the other Force India, but he still can't make it through. And you really got to feel for him at this moment in time for Gal. He's just having a terrible, terrible race. I mean, I've said that. I've said it so many times, but I mean, what else can you say, really? But at the moment, Volker versus Lopez, the gap seemingly coming down, actually. It's still not that big. He's extending the gap, though, Lopez, 2 car behind him, who's got a Force India to deal with. I saw George Roque in the Haas is coming in for his final stop of the race. So we're looking at Roland Moichin, who's running in 10th, but he has got, of course, Nicolas Gal, who's right behind him. So I would imagine as we're coming on to the front straight, we'll see Gal attempting to get through on the inside, I think, as Moichin comes across the line to complete the his 40th lap. So Gal is 3/10 behind, actually, so not quite as close as I thought, but still close nonetheless. But Roque has come out actually in 9th position, so he's come out inside of the points. So it's been a pretty solid race for him. Now here is Gal yet again going to try and pass Moichin, and is he going to pass him just as he pits as well? And the answer is yes, he is. Look at that. So he passes Roland Moichin just before he pits as well. That is unfortunately kind of typical of how this race has gone for him. So Roque obviously has pitted and will be going to the end. Campana will be pitting in front of him. So as we look at Roque heading towards the Ascari chicane. So there we are looking at Armcar, who unfortunately has dropped off Lopez, so it doesn't look like he is going to get the podium today. Well, I say the podium, he'll get a podium, but not the top step of the podium, which is the one that, of course, he ideally wants in front of the Defoe, because it just doesn't look like he has the pace in this stint. He had the pace in the first stint. Just imagine, had he got past Lopez quicker than he did, he would have been on the back of Volker, and then we would have had an even spicier battle for the win. So, but it looks like Lopez just not able to close up to Volker as much as he would, although the gap has still been about the same, about 3 seconds, but I'm not sure. But there's Moichin that goes past, and so does Laura Chung. Now, Miguel Scout comes into the pits as well. So here we are looking at Volker, who's coming through the Parabolica. The gap about 4 seconds, actually, so it's gone up a little bit. But Lopez just needs to close the gap a bit more to Volker. I mean, he could still do it easily because, of course, we've got 11 laps left. So anything can happen in these last 11 laps. So we're looking at Maxime Titkov, who, because, of course, in the last few races, caused a lot of trouble in recent weeks. But, of course, we're looking now at the two Salbers, who are in 4th and 5th at the moment, although Tomaselli is pitting. And I think, I would imagine Gomez has to pit as well, I think. I would think so. I don't think we've seen Gomez pit again. But Gal comes out in 12th. He's behind Franco Gamba. He's behind one of his favourite drivers. So at this moment in time, Tomaselli, of course, is the top Italian, and he's going to finish in the points. So that's good for him as well. But the gap to Lopez is 4 seconds for Volker, and it's looking pretty good for him at this moment in time. Lopez just can't quite close the gap, it seems, at this moment in time. He's obviously extending the gap. It's now 4 seconds to Carl, 4.3 to be exact. But he just can't quite close the gap to Volker up front. Yeah, about 4 seconds exactly, 4.029, if you want to be precise. But Tomaselli, of course, now is pitting for the final time, and he comes out down in 9th position, it looks like, unless he comes out ahead of Campana. Be close, but I think he will, and yes, he does. So he comes out in 9th position ahead of the American. So there we go, as we're looking at Nicholas Gao right now running in 12th position. He's going to be lapped by Amar Khan pretty soon as well. I said it's just been a terrible, terrible race for him. All you can really say about that. And so the big question is, which Mercedes it looks like is going to win? Will it be Volker or will it be Lopez at the moment? It looks like Volker, but could it still be Lopez? Is going to be the big question, the $1 million question. So as you look through the field, De Rossa coming in, and who himself has got a problem, so it's been yet again another disastrous race for McLaren. It's just been god awful. So that's all you can really say about that. Just they've had a terrible, terrible season, McLaren. It's not really got any better than what it has been, which, well, wasn't very good at all, really. I mean, I suppose they had that podium De Rossa did at Monaco, but I mean, you could say it was a fluke. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not really worked out very well for McLaren this season. So we look at, of course, at Campana, who's coming around the Parabolica, and he's still actually close to the back of Tomaselli here, despite the fact Tomaselli has just pitted. So I don't think he's quite close enough to make a move coming down into the first chicane. And I think he was on for a good lap there, a personal best. Now, Gal has been lapped by, of course, Lopez here, and he seemingly is still trying to unlap himself. But if he can't get past, well, if he's trying to get past Mercedes, how's he expected to do that when he struggled to get past all other faster cars around him? I don't know, but he's nearly beaten his personal best of the race. But as he comes into the first chicane, and he's actually still going to have a go. He's on the inside of Lopez here, and he's going to have the run round the corner. The answer is no, he doesn't. So unable to make the move stick there. So quite bizarre. And oh, and there's a Haas. That is Franco Gamba, who is out of this race. So he is going to get no points from this Grand Prix. So Tomaselli will be finishing the top Italian from this race. But Franco Gamba, who's not really had a very good race, to be honest, it's been pretty unspectacular, is going to be retiring with just 8 laps to go, and he was running just outside the points anyway. But we see Gamba having a mechanical failure, so he pulls off, and there goes his wheel. That's his race done and dusted here in Italy, so there we go. Pulls off, and that is it. So here's De Rossa, who is trying to unlap himself past the Sauber there. Unable to do so as well. There's Byrne and battling there with Mackenzie too. And so, if we look through the rest of the field, at the moment Chung is the last car in the points. But she is the last car in the points because Lean Capana has passed her. So that explains why. This was the move. So coming out of the Ascari chicane, Capana had the run. And then coming towards the Parabolica, just gets through on the inside. So that was a pretty easy move there for Lean Campana. And now here is George Roque, who is in 6th position here, but trying to get past the one Renault of Mackenzie who's being lapped. Now he's going to try and get past Byrne, the other Renault. This is a battle for 5th position. Roque has seen, look at the power he's got, look at that. He might even try and make the move on the inside of Byrne here. And that's without the slipstrings. That's quite incredible. So Byrne on the well, he's now been passed by Roque, who's up into P5. So good move there by Roque. And actually, Roque at the moment is in P5, and actually Gomez is not far ahead of him. So I wonder, is Roque going to possibly get P4 here? I mean, Gomez himself has had actually a pretty good race. Probably would deserve P4, but I mean, Roque, who's we've not seen, who's quietly done about his business this race, in P5 and could even get P4 here. And of course, let's not forget, actually Byrne has got a 5-second time penalty as well. So 6th position I think is probably the best he's going to get, which I'll see the gaps in a second and I'll find out what they are. So of course, what doesn't help Byrne, of course, is the fact that his teammate Mackenzie's battling with him. It's 15 seconds on Mercedes, so that is comfortably enough for 6th position. Campana, who's only just passed Moitian for 8th, so he would drop back behind him, but that is unless he can get 5 seconds in the last 5 laps or so, or 4 laps I should say, which can be done. I would imagine he'll probably do it, but we'll see. Now this is the battle for P4 between Gabriel Gomez and George Roke, as Roke coming through the parabolic, and look at this slipstream, he's getting off the corner, he's well behind, and Roke is just going to go past Gomez like he's not there. Just look at that, just absolutely zooms past him, and so he takes P4 unless Gomez tries to make a move back into the chicane, and the answer is no, he doesn't. So Roke makes it up into P4. Been a great race by him as well, but let's not forget Gomez too. Been around about the top 5 all race, so he'll be unfortunately a bit disappointed that he couldn't get P4, but still top 5 for him. Nonetheless, will be pretty good. But here is your race leader, Florin Volker, of course. Had the lead at the start and has pretty much kept it throughout, of course. Wasn't sure about the strategy. He was at a 2-stop, but of course he pitted quite early. And of course he got head up in a lot of traffic, but of course he did get lucky with the fact, well, he got lucky with 2 things really. The fact, of course, the Willows, the Manor crash happened, and Willows was eliminated, and of course the cars were held up, and Lopez got damaged. I mean, just imagine if that didn't happen. Lopez could have won this, but of course, when Willows and Carr had their battle, Lopez and Carr, had their battle for second place. Just imagine if they didn't have that battle so much, then Carr could have been in with a shout, maybe of a possible win, of course, but he was slower in the second stint, so it may not have happened anyway, but still, it could have been even spicier than it was this race. You can see here, the top 3 on the same straight together as Florin Volker comes round the Parabolica for the final time, and he is going to win the Italian Grand Prix in front of the Tifosi. They're not going to be very happy. Volker is, and Volker is going to win the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Well done to him. What a result. He'll be pretty chuffed with that. Lopez second position. And then across the line now is Almacar. He'll be gutted not to win this race. So close and yet so far. But he'll still be pretty happy with third in front of the Tifosi. So at least they'll have something to cheer about. Now Trinan was 12th. Sontag was 13th. Titkoff coming across the line now in 14th position. He has a pretty quiet race, actually, I have to say. De Rossa, less said about his race, the better, unfortunately. Got involved on the first lap, and then, of course, he had a mechanical failure, so never really going to go well for him. But he's had to come across the line in 15th. Unfortunately, ever since the podium in Monaco, it's just all gone downhill for McLaren. Not been a good season for them at all. And so he comes across the line, 15th. And George Roke, what a performance by him as well for Haas. Had an unbelievable season, and he'll take 4th position. Mackenzie, 16th position, unlucky, of course, he got damage, and of course he got a mechanical failure as well. He'll take 16th. Gabriel Gomez will be 5th, Burns 6th, and he'll keep 6th despite that time penalty. Now here's Tomaselli, who comes across the line. He'll take 7th, Campana 8th, and now here's Roland Moitin, who'll come across the line in 9th. Pretty, I think Moitin, I don't know if he'll be too happy with that. He'll at least get some points, but I think he probably would have hoped that he would have had more. He didn't seemingly have the pace today in the fourth senior. And here's the battle for the final points position, actually. This is between Gal and Chung, so Gal might not get points today as they come across the line, and Chung has got it. So Chung gets 10th, gets the last point ahead of Gal, who finished 11th in the end. Wow, what a miserable race from him. But here is the full race results. So Florin Volker winning ahead of Franco Lopez in second, Almacar third, George Roke in fourth, Gabriel Gomez fifth, Evan Burns sixth despite his 5-second time penalty, Tomaselli in seventh, Campana in 8th despite his 5 seconds, Moich in 9th, Laura Chung 10th, the last stroke with points with Nicholas Gal 11th. The fastest lap set by Franco Lopez as well, a 1:20.691. And the rest of the order was as follows: Toby Nathan in 12th, Felix Sontag 13th, Maxim Titkoff 14th, Kyrosław Dorossi 15th, and Jamie McKenzie 16th. Those were all a lap down, with Franco Gamba, Ennis Bradski, Joel Husser, Joseph Willers, Etienne Jones, Roberto Gamba, the drivers who did not finish this race. Now we'll take a look, of course, at the driver standings and the constructor standings after Italy. So Florin Volker now leads the championship. What a crucial win for him. He was ahead by Marcar by just 7 points, with Franco Lopez only 4 points behind Carr as well. Willows now dropped way behind, 4th position. Hutter in 5th, Gallon 6th. Roke moves above his teammate Franco Gamba into 7th. Everburn 9th, and Tomaselli moves above actually Jim McKenzie into 10th position as well. Other moves up the order: Gomez moves up into 15th position above De Rossa. Campana moves above Parechki and Roberto Gamba as well. No change at the bottom though, the two Manners. Etienne Jones so far with only 1 point, and Maxime Titkoff last with 0 points, the only driver yet to score a point this season. Now we'll take a look at the constructor standings. So Mercedes extending their lead over Ferrari in second. Red Bull, I think safe to say they're going to finish in third position. Haas doing once again, yet again, a great job in fourth. Renault in fifth. Sauber actually moving above Force India into sixth by just 1 point. Toro Rosso in 8th. McLaren 9th. Williams in 10th. And Manor very lonely in 11th position. So there we go. That was the final European race of the 2018 OC season. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to, as usual guys, vote for your driver of the day and give the race rating out of 10. Check out all our links in the description, our Wikia, our Twitter, Discord. Don't forget to check out everything there. Thanks for watching guys, and we'll see you for the next round, the Singapore Grand Prix at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Thanks for watching guys, and we'll see you there.